You know, it's funny. Pizza is so everywhere all the time that we don't even really think about it. But its journey is actually pretty wild. We're going to dive into how this super humble street food from Naples, Italy, somehow took over the entire planet and became this massive cultural and economic force.
So that's the big question, right? How in the world did we get from a simple local meal to a mind-blowing $160 billion global industry? An industry where you can literally get a pizza from a vending machine or have it dropped on your doorstep by a drone. It's this incredible story of tradition versus technology, of art versus industry. I mean, think about it. On one side, you have the absolute soul of pizza, the Neapolitan pizzaiolo, a master craftsman whose art is so important it's actually protected by UNESCO. And on the other side, you have the modern pizza machine. Global chains, robots, AI delivery. These two things could not be more different, and yet, we call them both pizza.
To really get pizza, we have to go back, way back. We're talking 18th century Naples, where it all started. And let's be clear, this was not fancy food, not even close. It was fuel, it was cheap, it was hearty, and it was made for working folks to grab and eat on the go.
You know, in Naples, the person making the pizza isn't just a pizza cook. They're a pizzaiolo. And that's not just a job title, it's a mark of true mastery. In fact, their craft is considered so unique and valuable that in 2017, UNESCO declared it an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Yeah, it's literally a protected art form.
And this art, the arte of the pizzaioli, it's this whole four-stage ritual. It's a performance. It starts with shaping the dough, all by hand, of course, then carefully adding the toppings, then into a blazing hot wood-fired oven, and finally, there's this signature turning motion as it bakes. It's way more like a dance than just cooking. It's a skill you spend a lifetime perfecting.
The French writer Alexandre Dumas, the guy who wrote The Three Musketeers, he traveled to Naples in 1843, and he just nailed the whole point of pizza back then. This wasn't a luxury. It was a necessity. For the working poor of the city, pizza was survival. It was how you got a fast, cheap, and filling meal.
So how does a food for the poor become an icon? Well, with a great story, of course. The legend goes that in 1889, a pizzaiolo made a special pie for the visiting Queen Margherita. He used toppings to look like the new Italian flag: red tomatoes, white mozzarella, green basil. Well, she loved it, and that royal seal of approval, it totally changed pizza's status forever. And just like that, the Margherita pizza was born.
All right, so from the back streets of Naples, pizza makes its next huge leap. It crosses the Atlantic Ocean, not in a cargo ship, but in the hearts and memories of Italian immigrants who were chasing the American dream.
So pizza's American story really kicks off in 1905. That's when the first pizzeria gets a license in New York City. But the real explosion happens after World War II. You've got all these soldiers coming home who got a taste for pizza while they were stationed in Italy. Suddenly, it's a craze. And by the 1950s, it's all about convenience. That's when the big chains and the frozen pizza aisle start to take over.
And you gotta love this. Back then, pizza was so foreign to Americans that newspapers had to print out how to pronounce it. Pizza. They even called it a pizza pie, just to give people something familiar to compare it to. Can you imagine? It was a total curiosity.
But you know, America, we didn't just adopt pizza. We remixed it. All these amazing regional styles started popping up. You got the classic New York slice, thin, foldable, perfect for eating on the street. And then you have the absolute beast that is Chicago deep dish, which, let's be honest, is more of a pie you need a knife and fork for. Pizza was officially becoming American.
Okay, so from an American favorite, the story just accelerates like crazy. Pizza explodes. It becomes this global, high-tech, commercial monster. This is where the big money and the big tech really enter the picture.
$160 billion. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's what the global pizza market is worth. It's not just a food anymore. It's an economic empire, bigger than the economies of a lot of countries.
And who sits at the top of this empire? Well, it's the giants. You've got Domino's and Pizza Hut, who together control more than half the market in a place like the United States. Their entire model is built on one thing: consistency, speed, and being absolutely everywhere.
And the future? It's even further away from that little shop in Naples. We are talking about AI that optimizes your order, drones and self-driving cars that deliver it, and robots that actually assemble the pizza. For a company like Domino's, more than 70% of their sales are already digital. The pizzaiolo is slowly being replaced by the algorithm.
As pizza spread across the planet, it turned into this amazing culinary chameleon. It didn't just conquer new places, it totally adapted to them, morphing into new and sometimes surprising shapes to fit local tastes everywhere it went.
I mean, check this out. In Sweden, you'll find kebab on your pizza. Go to Brazil, they're making sweet dessert pizzas with chocolate and bananas. In India, it's topped with spicy paneer or tandoori chicken. And in Japan, you might find squid and mayonnaise sauce. That right there, that insane ability to adapt is the real secret to its global success.
But all of this speed, all of this technology, all of this sameness, it was bound to create a backlash. And kind of perfectly, the rebellion started right back where pizza's story began, in Italy. It was a protest for tradition and pleasure against the fast life that global pizza now represented.
So here's how it went down. Picture it. Rome, 1986. A McDonald's is about to open at the famous Spanish Steps, and this journalist, Carlo Petrini, decides to protest. But not with picket signs. No, he starts handing out bowls of pasta to the crowd, shouting, "We don't want fast food, we want slow food."
And that simple act, that idea, became the heart of the Slow Food Manifesto. The argument is really simple. The best way to defend yourself against a life that's, quote, enslaved by speed is to just sit down at a table. It's a call to rediscover the pleasure of a slow meal, good flavor, and real community.
So you can see the two warring ideas, right? You've got the fast life, which is all about industrial speed, efficiency, and maybe losing some flavor along the way. And then you have slow food, which is all about rediscovering pleasure, supporting local traditions, and saving food diversity. In the end, it's the exact same conflict, the pizzaiolo versus the pizza bot.
Which brings us all the way back to you and your next pizza night. When you open that box, what are you really choosing? Is it the product of a centuries-old tradition, or is it a modern marvel of technology and industry? As you grab your next slice, you kind of have to wonder, is it art or is it an algorithm? Something to chew